Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 4404 Southeast Adams Street here in Milwaukee. We're located at the front of the house. I describe everything as if you're standing in the street facing the front door of the home. So right now we are just outside the, we're barely offset to the left of the bathroom window here. It's a pretty easy clean out to hunt down. In fact, there's two of them. I'm starting with the older cast iron one. The line does appear to have had some updates done, so it's got a newer 4-inch ABS clean out. I'm starting with the older one here just because it's further back, lets me see more pipe potentially. Yeah, we're checking the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water's running. We'll zero out at the base of the clean out. So right there at the base of the, oh, in fact, we might have another one here. Looks like we may have a couple wipes in the pipe. Most likely the interior cast iron pipe. And granted, this home's not going to probably have a lot of it, just because of, I haven't walked through the entire house. I think this is a single bath house, but pretty limited on how much cast iron there is. We just swapped over to ABS pipe. Cast iron, though, in general, because of its rougher texture, is not the most forgiving pipe in the world when the line is abused. So it's one of those, you want to be extra vigilant that things like wipes aren't going down the line, paper towels, flushable wipes, tampons, things of that nature. And so pretty quick after the ABS, that clean out was installed for the purpose of installing an epoxy liner. That's what we're going through right now. Camera is upside down if you're wondering why the water's flying overhead there. Got a couple little imperfections in the pipe that the liner went into, but that's quite normal. The liner's smooth over all that stuff. They were fairly rinky-dink, insignificant things to begin with. So when you go and put a glass smooth liner inside there, a couple little lumps and bumps, tiny little bellies have zero significance to flow at that point. So what used to be there is likely aggregate concrete would be my assumption. You get a hodgepodge of different stuff though in Milwaukee. You see a lot of cast iron going all the way to the main, 4-inch clay pipe, even Orangeburg out here. So hard to say exactly what it is, but based upon a couple of the lumps and bumps in the pipe, my guess is probably it was concrete. They shot the liner through. We've hit the main here at 38 feet. We're going to let the water drain off here for a moment while we locate, and then we'll pull back in. All right, located the camera head successfully. Line terminates on Southeast Adams. Again, as you face the house from the street, it's kind of to the manhole out here lines up with the left side edge of the house. If you drew an imaginary straight line from the left side of the home out to the road, you'll see a manhole there. Your line in particular terminates about 2 feet to the right of that manhole, in case you're curious how the pipe is routed. I cannot figure out where all this water's coming from. Unless there's a toilet flapper that's not shutting all the way. I just went through the house, checked everything. Luckily, it's not a ton of water at this point. It's not really affecting my view of anything, but anyway, just wanted to go check on that. All the bathtubs are drained out. No obvious sounds are coming from the toilet. Because it's possible to... And now we're starting to drain off here finally. We're going to go a little bit slower than normal here just so I can eyeball any spots where there might be a little standing water. So far, everything we're looking at here is flowing. Like right here, this is one of the hallmarks of concrete pipe. That lump we're going over right now, often, it's either where there was somewhat of an offset joint, but usually what it is excess pipe grout, where there's just a kind of a little bit of a grout dam at one of the joints. There's another one right here. So it's not uncommon at all to get a couple little lumps and bumps. In fact, that's probably the true reason why there's any level of standing water at all. Mostly you see it when the water's running. Once the line drains off entirely, you essentially have nothing left over. So, and those things are completely insignificant at this point. These liners are as smooth as glass. I'm a big fan of them. I've done almost 25,000 inspections at this point and been a part of a lot of repairs, and I've become a pretty big fan of these liners. So you do have a level of standing water here. I don't know how recently the liner was shot through this thing, but the ABS clean out here appears to be, my assumption is it was installed for the sake of shooting the liner in. A lot of times the epoxy liner guys these days are wanting to do that just so they have a straighter shot and a smoother shot in. The older style clean out access, the cast iron ones, the sweep on them is not ideal. Honestly, even for getting cameras through, but especially larger stuff like lining equipment. This spot here did belly out to an extent, and that bundle of junk there, I just pushed it past the joint. That'll move on its way. I'm only seeing one of them in the line here. I just want to get it to a point where it can start cruising. Anyway, you've got a belly here in the line. I'll say this. This is not the most extreme belly on planet Earth. But if this is a recent install, if this was just done, honestly, I would ask that it be fixed. The only issue you may run into here is that in the process of I don't know what the original line looked like. A little bit of standing water does persist into the epoxy lined pipe, which may make it most likely impossible to fix that without messing with the liner. So anyway, I'm going to give this just a second here to see if I can get it to fully drain. As it's draining off here, that belly is actually dropping down to a pretty rinky-dink level. It's even less than I thought it was going to be. So we're going to give the line a moment just to drain here. And the other reason I've moved this thing around, I'm trying to get it out of the flow line so it's not causing any water to stand and exaggerate things. So where my typical breaking point is for recommending repairs on bellies these days is once I've got a 5-foot section of pipe with at least an inch of standing water that's static with no water running at all. So even at that point, in a smooth plastic or CIPP line pipe or very smooth pipe walls, it's very, very rare to ever develop a blockage with a 5-foot belly with an inch of water in a 4-inch line unless the homeowner is humongously helping things along. And by that I mean flushing, you know, multiple gigantic wads of toilet paper down, and I'm talking a bunch of them, not just one or two. It's usually a heap of them. You know, dumping a lot of cooking oil and grease down the pipe that gunks the line up, stuff like that. A belly I just described there doesn't just act up on its own. It's a much different animal though when you're starting to talk about older pipe materials, cast iron, concrete, stuff that has very rough pipe walls. The coupling effect of rough pipe walls and standing water is not a combo that I like a whole lot. You've got two things contributing to stuff hanging up. One, the standing water slowing things down, but two, rough pipe walls that snag that slow moving debris. So I think I've got this thing drained out about as much as I reasonably can here. Some water's running from somewhere. I don't know where it's coming from. Home inspector may figure that out. But the belly here, by and large, starts, even the first little bit of the ABS there looks like it's draining off. Most of it starts here about 4 feet. It's very short. From about 4 feet to 7 feet. You've got about a ½ inch of water at its worst point. So letting this thing drain out entirely, you know, if you could get someone to come back and correct that, great. But this is a belly, outside of a brand new install circumstance, this is a belly I would never recommend a repair on or even suggest it. It's just too minor. In fact, you know what? You're not even at a ½ inch here. This is about a 1/4 inch. Something is very slowly draining off inside the house here. That water line is just barely hitting the base of my camera lens. The top of my camera lens is about 1 inch off the bottom of the pipe. So once the water line comes about halfway up my camera lens, you're at about the ½ inch mark. So not a belly I'm going to recommend a repair on. Like I said before, if you can get someone to fix it, great, but it's a very small belly. And the only reason that debris there is even sitting there is it's not toilet paper. It's some kind of cleaning wipe or something of that sort, and that will clear out. Anyhow, all the pipe we just scoped there, all of it's in good condition, has good flow. The belly, in my opinion, is far too minor to require repair work. Sewer line is functioning properly at this time. Now, one of the things I love about those liners, not that you have a humongous amount of trees out here, not the scenario where you're gonna benefit quite as much from it, but they are a jointless pipe product essentially, so you don't have as many weak points in them for things like root intrusions to get through. So some cool advantages with them. Plus, they usually come with a pretty hefty warranty. I don't know if the warranty is transferable. I might ask the seller about that. Most companies these days are doing like 10-year warranties on them, which you will rarely get more than a year warranty out of any other style of repair. So I would ask them about that to see if there's any certificate or anything that comes with that in the event something were to ever happen.